Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a wolf statue. Before we start this, I kinda decided to reskin the original wolf. I don't think that the original wolf skin looks particularly good when you actually make a statue out of it. I already did that, so I decided to kind of make it pretty much entirely light grey and keep a few of the features white. So this isn't exactly a carbon copy of the actual wolf, although the dimensions are correct, but I do think it looks pretty good. If you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need some sandstone block, you'll need black wool, dark grey, light grey, white, and you'll also need a tiny bit of red. Once you have every single one of those colours right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make the wolf, I'll be making it right here, you'll want to kick this off with a row of 2 white wool in a row on the floor. That's 2, so 1, 2. What you then want to do once you have your row of 2 white wool is stack a row of 6 light grey wool on top of each one of your white wool. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the other one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't really have to count that out once you've already counted out the first one. And once you have that, you then want to do this. You want to come down to the second white wool, the right white wool that you placed, and you want to go right of it, and you want to leave a gap of 2 on the floor. So going right of this white wool, leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and on this third space right here, you want to place another 2 white wool going to the right. So you're just placing the second leg of the wolf. That's the front left leg and that's the front right leg. And on top of your 2 white wool, you just want to stack 2 rows of 6 light grey, like that. Very simple. And once you have both of the legs, the fronts of the legs, you now want to come behind what you've just made, and you pretty much just want to do the exact same thing, 1 row behind both of the legs. So you just want to do an extra row of white wool and an extra row of light grey. So you just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. And this is where the back of my wolf's going to be, by the way. Of course, you could make it either direction at the moment, this way or that way. However, this is where the front of my wolf's going to be. You guys can still make the decision. So once you've got both of those front legs taken care of, you now want to do this. So on top of the left leg, on top of this block right here, coming to the side view of the left leg, place a light grey block right there. Then place a block coming this way in front of that block, so coming like left to where the wolf's going to be. You then, from this block, want to go left of it by 4, so like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, so now going towards the back of the wolf. You then want to take this 4th block, take a sideways view, you want to go left of it by 7, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You then want to take a sideways view to this 7th block, and you want to go to the left by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You now want to connect this 4th black, I don't know what I'm talking about, this 4th block all the way back to where we just started. So you guys can see we've just made kind of like a rectangular shape that kinda sits on top of the front legs, like that. That's the front part of your wolf. Once you have your rectangular shape, you now want to take each one of the 4 corners of your rectangle, and you want to raise them up each by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and finally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once you have your 4 rows of 6, you just want to connect them all together, top block to top block. Just go all the way around the edges of the top and just make a big giant rectangular shape, like this. And once you have your big giant 3D rectangle, this is what you want to do next. So coming to the back of your rectangle, right here, you want to take this block, I can't really identify that any better for you guys. You want to take this block and you want to do a row of 9 light grey coming out from the back of this block, so going towards where the back of the wolf will be. So a row of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you want to do the exact same thing on the other side of your wolf. So from this block right here, a row of 9 coming this way. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And once you have your 2 rows of 9, you want to come up to the top of your wolf, and you want to, well, not exactly in the top 2 corners, but, well, yeah, actually, in the top 2 corners of the space that we have at the tops of our rectangle, you just want to place a single light grey in the top 2 corners, like this. And once you have those, you want to then do 2 more rows of 9 coming towards the back of your wolf. So like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the other one as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And once you now have your 4 rows of 9, you just want to connect them all together. Just go all the way around and form a nice large rectangular shape, just as we've done before, except this one is ever so slightly bigger. So as you can see, this is what we have so far. We've got most of the body taken care of now. Once you've done that, we can now move on to the back legs. So coming towards the back of your wolf, you're on the left hand side, you're on this side of your wolf. You want to, underneath this block and this block, I can't really explain it any better than just pointing out the blocks. Underneath these 2 blocks, you want to do 2 rows of 6 light grey coming down from both of these blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the other row as well. You don't have to count that out. And those 2 rows of 6 should just come down 1 block off of the floor. So you've just got this little single space. And underneath those 2 blocks, you just want to place 2 white wool, like that. And once you have those 2 rows of light grey and your 2 white wool, you now coming to the inside of your wolf right here, you just want to do the exact same thing just on the inside of your wolf. So you just kind of want to reinforce the leg. I can't really put that into words very well, but you guys can see exactly what you have to do. You just want to do the exact same thing like on the inside of what you've just done. Should be quite easy to see what I've done there. And once you've done that on the right hand side of your wolf, you now want to do the exact same thing on the left hand side, or it really does depend how you look at it. If you're looking at it from the perspective of the wolf, this is the left hand side and that's the right, but if you're looking at the wolf, that's the left, that's the right. Go figure. On this side of the wolf, you want to do the exact same thing. So underneath these 2 blocks, your 2 rows of 6 light grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your white wool underneath, and the exact same thing right next to it as well, right there. And then you want to do the exact same thing on the inside as well. So just place your blocks where you have to on the inside of the leg. So you just want to end up with something which should look a little bit like this. Let me just show you the back view here. A little bit like that. Looks a little freaky, doesn't it? It's basically just a couple of big empty shapes on legs at the moment. So this is what we're going to do next before we add in any more details, and it is getting a little dark as well. What we're now going to do, and what I'm going to cut away and do, is we're now going to fill in our 2 big giant rectangles in completely with our light grey wool, and that means every single face of the rectangles. So remember to do underneath. That's the exact opposite of what I want you to remember. Do the underneaths of your rectangles, fill all of the faces of them in, including the tops, and I will be back in a moment with both the daylight and 2 nicely filled in light grey rectangles back in the moment. So this is what it should look like once you've filled in both of your rectangular-ish shapes. Do remember to fill in the bottoms and the tops of your rectangles. I have quite a few statues dotted around my worlds without any bottoms on them. I forget quite often myself. So once you finish doing that, this is what you want to do next. Come all the way to the back of your wolf. We're going to be making the tail now. So starting from this position right here and the position right next to it, basically the 2 middle blocks, 1 block down from the top of the back of our rectangle, these 2 blocks right here, you want to do 2 rows of 7 light grey coming directly down from these 2 positions. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and directly to the right of it as well, the 2 middle blocks. Don't have to count that out. 2 rows of 7 light grey coming directly down right there. And then you just want to do a single white wall underneath those 7th blocks. So you just want to have something which should look like this. What you then want to do once you've got those 2 rows taken care of is do the exact same thing in front of those rows. So you just want to repeat exactly what you've done. So just to give you guys a side view, you want to have 2 layers of that coming out of the back of the statue, and that will be your wolf's tail. Once you've taken care of that, we can now move on to the final part of our wolf, which is going to be the head. So come all the way to the front of your statue, take out your red wool, and the first thing that we have to do is the collar. So to do the collar, all you need to do is trace along the outside of the front face of your rectangular shape. So you just have to do something which should look a little bit like this, just coming out of the front of your statue. So just to give you a side view, there you go, that's your wolf's collar. Once you've done the collar, you now want to take out your light grey, and in front of these 6 middle bottom blocks of the collar, you want to do a row of 6 light grey, like coming towards you, like this. You then want to do 2 rows of 6 sandstone, again coming towards you in front of that light grey. So to give you a side view, you can see what's happening. You now want to build on top of this second row of sandstone, and you want to do 2 additional rows of sandstone. So that's 1 and 2. You then want to, for the next row coming up, place 2 sandstone in the 2 sand spots of your row, place a single black wool either side of that sandstone, and then place a white wool on the ends of that row. You now, for the next row, want to place white wool where you placed black previously on the previous row, and then place light grey everywhere else. Now for the next row, you just want to do an entire row of light grey wool. That is the top row of your wolf's face. What you now need to do is connect this row, this top row, back to the body of your wolf. So you just want to connect it back to the body like this by doing 2 rows of light grey at the top of the head, just kind of coming back towards the body like this. Now to fill in the sides of the head, you want to do this. You basically just want to place a single sandstone block in the bottom right hand corner of this space, and then you just want to fill the rest of the space in with light grey wool, like so. And once you've done that on one side, you just want to do the exact same thing on the other side. So sandstone block there, light grey wool everywhere else. So you just want to have something which should look a little bit, to give you guys a bit of a staggered view, a little bit like this. So once you've taken care of that, all we have to do now is make our wolf's snout and make his ears. So come down to the bottom of your wolf's face, take out your black wool, and in front of the 4 middle blocks of the bottom row of your wolf's face, do a row of 4 black wool, like this. Once you have your row of 4 black, do 2 rows of dark grey directly in front of your black. So you just want to end up with something that should look like this. Once you have your 3 rows, these 12 blocks, you want to stack a row of sandstone directly on top of each one of these blocks. So like that. Once you have the 1 layer of sandstone, you now want to stack another layer directly on top of it. So in total, you want to have 2 layers of sandstone on top of your black wool and your dark grey wool. You now want to come to the front of the snout, knock out these 2 middle sandstone blocks, replace them with black wool, and you should find that you have your finished wolf's snout, nose included. Once you've taken care of that, all we have to do now is the ears. So come all the way up to the back of the top of the head, and you basically just want to place these 8 blocks right here in those positions to complete your wolf's ears. I'm not going to try and, explain that, make that any more difficult than it has to be. Those are your wolf's ears in those positions, and once you've completed those, you should be left with something that should look a little bit like this. You should be left with a fully 100% completed, pretty accurate wolf statue. As I said, the reason that I decided to reskin the wolf and make it light grey is because I think that the original white and kind of like light grey dotted about the place, I don't think it looks particularly good. However, I think that this one does. I think that light grey and a bit of white, I think it looks very wolf-like, and I really do like it a lot better. You guys might have a different opinion, but it looks pretty good if you ask me. And hopefully, if you guys have managed to follow the tutorial, there's not really anything too difficult to do on this wolf. If you guys have managed to follow the tutorial, you should be left with your very own wolf. So hopefully you guys have managed to make it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.